Hi, I'm Donna Jory Usher, the author of the 7 Steps to Closure and the Chanel series, as well as Fairy-Born trilogy, the Alien Private Eye series, and the soon-to-be-released Demon Bounty Hunter series. And today I want to talk to you about inspiration. So inspiration for the first book in the Alien Private Eye series, which is called Agents of APE, and how I came up with the idea. So if you haven't read Agents of APE, it's kind of like a spin on a cozy mystery series or cozy mystery book. It's got the spin is aliens, okay? So it's that klutzy, but she's very strong female who is stubborn and sort of like flies by the seat of her pants. She's not a good planner. So that's that character, which tends to be your cozy mystery sort of character, but then I threw in aliens just to give it a twist. So that's what the feel of the book is. Anyway, I came up with this idea one year, quite a while ago now. It's probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and it took me probably 5 years to get around to writing it. So I had this character, her name is Sissy, short for Sicily. I had her banging around in my head for probably a good 5 years before I actually got around to writing it. And I got the first idea for it when I was gold prospecting. So probably 3 times my husband and I had flown over to Western Australia. We'd hired a camper van and gold prospecting, so the metal detectors, and then we'd driven up out of Kalgoorlie up through Leonora in the middle of Western Australia, and we'd gone gold prospecting. We did that with one of my best friend's fathers who did it every year, and he was very, very good at it, so he taught us what to do. So we would go out gold prospecting, and with gold prospecting you can't be too near each other because your detectors sound off each other. So you have to basically, in the morning, it's like a bomb burst. Everyone goes in different directions. You have got your GPS with you, and you go out, and sometimes you go back for lunch, sometimes you might just stay out there. So you take food, you take water, and you go out for 8, 9, 10 hours at a time. Maybe not 10 hours, but definitely 8 hours at a time. Basically the whole day, just walking and detecting. So metal detecting and looking for gold. And when you find a bit of gold, when you get a sound of metal, then you dig, and we used to use plastic soup ladles. So we dig, and then we would be waving the dirt over. Well, we would dig until the sound was no longer in the hole, and then we would have a pile of dirt, so we know that somewhere in that pile of dirt there was a piece of metal, hopefully a piece of gold, and then we would get it scoop by scoop, and we would wave that scoop over the detector and then put it in another pile. Until we knew that we had it in the detector, and then we would start getting rid of the soil until we got down to whatever it was. And more often than not, it might be a little piece of steel, sometimes from a bulldozer grating, sometimes a shard of steel off that, or it might be from the old timers. A can had broken down, it was a little shard of steel. Sometimes it'd be like lead from a bullet, or sometimes it was a piece of gold, which is very, very exciting. So there we were, gold prospecting, and it was hot. So even though it was probably April or May, which in Australia is heading into winter, it's still hot up there. Hot and dry, and flies galore. So I had a head net on and flies all over. I mean, you're trying to ignore the sound of them. You've got earphones on, or actually we were using earplugs, so molded earplugs that we got from riding motorbikes, and we would hook them in, and that would give us a much better sound without the uncomfortableness of the actual full headset. So earplugs in, head net on, hat, fully covered up down to your feet with boots on, and right down, so you're trying to cover up from the sun, and you're out there in the heat, like high 30s, 40 degrees temperatures at Celsius, walking around. And it can get pretty disorientating after a while. When you've been doing that for a week or two, you start to sort of zone out a little bit, and it was hot. So this particular day, I think I was kind of staggering around, maybe a little bit heat exhausted, a little bit dehydrated, and I was looking at some trees. I may have even sat down. I sat down and have a snack in the morning, and then I hopped up and I was looking at the trees, and I thought, what would happen if I lay down for a nap and then woke up and it was 5 years later? And that was the thought that popped into my head, and that's where it started. So then I was like, oh, that's an interesting concept. Because when you come up with a concept like that, then the next thing to do is ask yourself questions. Well, what happened? Why was it 5 years later? What happened in that time? And then what happens next? And how does she integrate back into society? Or does she tell people she's there, or does she not tell people she's there? So from there, I basically spent the next week staggering around with a metal detector, thinking about this concept of what would happen if someone who was out metal detecting or prospecting lay down for a little nap, and when they got up and got back, it was 5 years later. And that was basically where Agents of APE came from. So it was Sissy, she lies down for a little nap, wakes up, it's 5 years later. goes back to find that her fiance is now shacked up and has a child with her best friend. She has no memory of where she's been, and she goes back to her mum's, and her mum's a bit of a, a bit crazy. She believes in aliens and things like that. And mum's telling her she's obviously been abducted by aliens, but she doesn't believe her. And then a dark, mysterious man turns up telling her that she is an alien private eye. She's been trained as an alien private eye. And that's pretty much where the story starts. So that sounds like something that you would enjoy. It's good fun. It's funny. It's got a lot of action in it. And Sissy is, when I said she's bumbling, she's probably not as bumbling as Chanel is. Sissy is a lot tougher. So she's got a black belt in karate, and she can ride motorbikes, and she can shoot guns, and she's got skills. So she's not some little faint pushover. She's a strong, hard Aussie chick from the outback. So if you like the sound of that, go check it out. The link for that will be with this video, and I really, really, really hope you enjoy it. And feel free to drop me a line, let me know what you thought of it, or if you do a review, let me know so I can go check it out. And I look forward to telling you more about Agents of APE later on. I'll do some readings for you and some more videos. So make sure you subscribe to this video so that you can find out when I release my videos, so you can stay up to date with what's going on in author world, what's going on with my writing, and with other things that I think about that I'd love to share with you.